Alrighty, what's going on everybody? Ninja Star here, and today we are back at it again with our Haikyuu video for you all. Now, the video today was brought as a suggestion to me by my good buddy BWeezyBird on Twitter, so shoutouts to Bendel, you guys should follow him. And if you guys have any other video suggestions like this, leave them in the comments down below or send me a tweet. Anywho, I found this topic really interesting and I don't want to wait any longer to do it. Haikyuu's animal symbolism. Haikyuu uses team mascots as metaphors in a really interesting way. The nature and characteristics of an animal can be reflected in the teams, which makes each one feel really distinct. So in this video, I want to break down 9 mascots from some really memorable teams. And don't worry, there won't be manga spoilers up until a certain timestamp in this video. I'll also tell you when we get into post-anime material, and by post-anime material I'm referring to anything after Season 4, Episode 13. The first core, basically. Let's go. Karasuno, the main protagonists. I have to talk about them. As you all know, Karasuno's mascot is a crow, and crows are very resourceful. Have you ever noticed that they will eat literally anything off the ground? They do whatever it takes to satiate themselves. And crows are not the biggest or strongest animals. They're intelligent though, and have great communication skills with one another, which is exemplified very well in the series. Even as someone like Kageyama, who doesn't communicate very well and had an awful middle school experience because of this, the other players worked with Kageyama to get on the same wavelength, and he got them dancing to his tune eventually, going back to the crows communicating very well. Crows are also fearless, willing to attack bigger birds. And the way they do that is through an additional technique many birds use called mobbing. They attack in large groups, often against a larger bird. This metaphor was actually really prevalent with the Karasuno vs Shiratorizawa game, where Uchijima was symbolized as this large eagle no small crow could take out. But multiple of those crows working together with resourcefulness and excellent communication skills could defeat the eagle. And speaking of eagles, sorry, I had to. Their chant is just too good. Anywho, Shiratorizawa's mascot is exemplified through the eagle, as we all know. Eagles are super strong and dominating. Their large, sharp, hooked beaks to cut are similar to Uchijima's powerful and sharp spikes. Eagles have muscular legs and fly high. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? They try and overwhelm their prey to the ground, and this can especially be seen on Tendo. And this scene, Shiratorizawa believes stronger is better. And it's understandable. They were at the top of the prefecture for a while, the same way eagles are at the top of the food chain. Shiratorizawa is so strong that they have to have their practice matches with universities, the same way eagles don't just limit their enemies to other birds. And while we're still on the topic of birds, let's talk about Furudate. Alright, I know Bokuto looks like a literal owl, but we have to talk about personality and other characteristics. Now, Furudate is interesting because you have people like Akashi and Konoha, and then you have Bokuto. And owls are weird, because in Western culture, and a lot of pop culture, owls are perceived as wise, intelligent, and just very big-brained. But in actuality, they're pretty dumb. They don't pick up on stuff as quickly as other birds, and they just kinda gaze. And I feel what's perceived and what's actual is reflected on Bokuto. Bokuto is dumb. He just kind of zones out sometimes, and he thinks in a very simple-minded manner. But every now and then he has insanely wise moments. We see it especially when he's talking to Tsukishima, and I think this way both perceptions of an owl are seen on Bokuto. The wise perception of an owl can be seen on someone like Akashi, who's very tactical, and the real nature of an owl, the dumb version, is seen on Bokuto with occasional traits of the perceived owl. Owls are observing nonetheless, and this is seen on Akashi, always observing Bokuto and his enemies. More so Bokuto though. Owls have very sharp feet and talons in a similar manner to Bokuto's sharp cut shots to pierce through an enemy. An owl's grip is insanely strong, the same way Fukurudane's momentum can have a really strong grip on the game. Nohebi. Now this is a really obvious one. Nohebi and snakes. Yeah, but come on. Snakes are cunning and slither up on you the same way Nohebi does with underhanded tactics to trap you in their defense. A snake's venom or poison can be seen as Nohebi's cheating, their way to destroy the opponent. This is an extremely obvious one, so I feel like I can just leave it there without harping on the same points. Nekoma. Nekoma's a really wonderful team, so I'm excited to talk about them. As we know, they prioritize defense and stamina while also shutting down their opponents through using their pumped brain. Now, Nekoma isn't exactly the most energetic school. Yeah, there's Yev and Yamamoto and personalities here and there, but their playing style usually involves them having a slow start. Makes sense, you want to tire out your opponent by constantly shutting them down and winning via your rock-solid defense. cats are not the most energetic animals. They conserve their energy, and when it's time to do actions or even hunt if it's non-domestic, they have built up energy to do so. The same way Nekoma builds itself up throughout the game, and then boom, those powerful blocks or spikes come in. Cats also have a stereotype for being lazy, and this is very reflected on Kenma. Kenma does not move around very much, and his whole demeanor is just lazy. Now, this is the part of the video where I get into post-season 4 episode 13 content, so you have 5 seconds to tune out. Bye everyone! Okay, you have now passed the manga vibe check. I kid, but as we see, Kenma towards the end of the Nationals Karasuno game ended up being very energetic, greatly helped due to his conserving of energy throughout the game. Cats are lazy because they want to conserve their energy, but when a cat does have its energy and is focused, it can catch just about any prey it desires. Nekoma is also perceived as extremely intelligent, and cats are as well. They have 300 million neurons and have a stronger cerebral cortex than many other domestic animals, compared to something like dogs, who only have 160, and regular birds, which only have around 100 million. They recognize object permanence and have a very strong cognitive ability with not just taking in information, but applying it. Cats also have extremely quick reflexes, which can be translated onto Nekoma's libero Yaku, being able to bump almost everything and the whole team just staying well connected. I think out of all the teams, Nekoma and cats fits together the best. Inarizaki, the strongest challengers. They take risks and don't stick to one playstyle. Their banner is "Who Needs Memories," symbolizing that they don't dwell on the past too much and instead take up the challenge of the present. They're very free-spirited and a live-in-the-moment type of team. Foxes are playful, agile-minded, and active. They're energetic in a similar manner to a dog, but have a sly nature to them and a sharp mind. This reflects really well into some of Inarizaki's players. They're also surprisingly neat and organized, which sounds familiar. And even though foxes are omnivores, most of their diet is carnivorous, and they're often a predator more than they are a prey. This lives up to be the strongest challenger name pretty well, as Inarizaki is ferocious and can settle for any opponent or prey. Something I also found pretty interesting was how foxes do not like loud noises. Anything that could be really sensitive to the ears will typically scare them, like yelling, whistling, or pans banging. Granted, this is mainly if you're a human, which foxes do not like. And as we know, Inarizaki has a loud chant that overwhelms the enemy and can even be irritating to the team itself. Kamamidai. Now we're back to the birds. Kamamidai High School is tough. Like, mentally and physically. Whether it's the immovable Hirogami or their incredible focus showcased through their banner, "Habit is second nature," by building consistency and toughness through habit, they're truly formidable. And Hoshiumi acts as a great foil to Hinata. Like crows, seagulls usually mob enemies. They aren't afraid of what comes their way. Karasuno's approach is breaking through, whereas Kamamidai's is shutting the other down. They contrast each other really well, and that's what makes their match so interesting. Kamamidai works so well because, despite establishing itself with its wall, contrasting players can use their strengths very efficiently. You have tiny but ferocious Hoshiumi, who literally looks like a seagull, while also having the giant and sturdy Hirogami, two sides of the same aerial battle. Seagulls have quite a strong body, especially compared to other birds its size, evident in the strong and sturdy wall the team has. And remember when I said Hoshiumi literally looks like a seagull? Well, he acts like one too. Seagulls are loud. Seagulls are aggressive and bold. They're hungry no matter what, the same way Korai had this hunger for the sport. Despite not having much height, he built an extremely strong foundation for everything else, the same way seagulls will take whatever's given to them. Seagulls are also expert flyers, having full control of themselves in the air, able to dive and hover at ease, the same way much of Kamamidai and Hoshiumi's strength lies in the air, and I kinda love that. Schwein Idlers. Now we move away from high school into pro teams. One of two teams in the most recent match are the Schwein Idlers, and it's repped by a white eagle. Now I find it funny how Ushijima has had two teams with an eagle mascot, and I'm also impressed with how Hoshiumi, Kageyama, and Ushijima all came from bird teams. I don't know, it was just funny. But anyway, they're similar to Shiratorizawa in the sense that they're dominating and are a powerhouse V-League team. In fact, they're the reigning champions of Division 1. Everything is sharp, evident in Kageyama's precise serves, and Ushijima or Romero's powerful spikes. Eagles are also known to overwhelm their opponent, and Tendo kind of did that for Shiratorizawa. Hirogami, nope, not that Hirogami, this one, does exactly that with his wall-like blocks. But who's their opponent? The MSBY Black Jackals. Truly an all-star team of greats. Hinata, Atsumu, Bokuto, and Sakusa as the most notable ones. These guys are fierce and free. They remind me of Inarizaki with the mascot similarities of jackals and foxes, but they're also very ferocious and are scavengers, willing to eat up on anything. Jackals are very vocal and communicate well. They're pretty loud, which translates into a certain player pretty well. They also have a reputation of being tricksters, which makes me think of Hinata being the greatest decoy and fulfilling that title on the team. Jackals are also, from a young age, animals that learn to rely on themselves and live through tough conditions. This is evident, once again, in Hinata. When you look at him going to Brazil on his own, feeling lonely and having difficulty adjusting to not only the sand, but to a new location. As a result of difficult conditions though, Jackals end up being very easy and adaptable to change. Hinata was adaptable from gym floor to sand, back to gym floor. And living through this difficult new environment on his own made him much stronger when he came back to the gym floor, like how Jackal has become much stronger through difficult environments. Anyways, y'all, those are the comparisons I came up with. Haikyuu has a lot of cool animal symbolism that makes for some awesome metaphors and solid representations for the teams. That's the beauty of Mascots, and each one Haikyuu has seems precise and on purpose. Kinda love it. Anyways, what did y'all think of the video? Were you surprised at how accurate some of these were? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, my ninja. I hope peace everybody and have a good day.